Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country, wherever you may be. Here we are once again on this Thursday, and we're here and we welcome you to Talk Back Live. That's what the name of the show, and that's what the show is all about. We talk back live to you and all of us together. We thank you so much for being with us. And we're here each Thursday at this time. So look at your clock, because you may be in a different time zone. And if you are, whatever it says on your clock, that's what time you meet us here, okay, each week. And we gather around, and if you're in the morning areas, we would say good morning to you, because some of you may be at work, whether you're working morning, noon, or night. Some of you are at home, and some of you are just sitting back, relaxing, and just watching the show right now. So we want to let you know that all of you are always invited, even the newbies. Now, for the people who've been around with us a long time, you already know what it's all about. Now, for you newcomers, and possibly newcomers who've been here maybe a week or so, or maybe your very first time, I'm the host of the show, Frank Allan, and what we're going to do is I'm setting up things right now. And as I set things up to get things rolling, you can do at any time. Use your keyboard on your telephone, your computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop, and even your iPad and your tablets, right? It has a keyboard, type in whatever you want to talk about. I'll see you right there on the big screen. I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about. It's free exchange of opinions and ideas. And by the way, if there's something that you want to talk about in particular, a certain topic that you want to elaborate on, and you think it may be of interest to all of us, try us. Just type it in there and we'll say hello. And of course, you can say hello to all of the people who come in as well as talking to me. And that's how we do it. It's one big happy family. Now, if you're watching us for the first time, especially if you're watching us on Facebook, I want you to take the time right now to tag, if not all of your friends, some of your friends, get it started, get it rolling, let them all know, because when they see that tag, they know it's coming from you, they'll trust you. And what they'll do is click onto that tag and it brings them directly to us, right? That's all it takes. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, possibly they'll come back again and again, just like you. We hope that would be the case. So do that right now when you ever get a chance right now. This is the time to do it. You won't have to skip a beat or lose a beat in watching the show. It just takes a second to do that. And as many as you like too. Now, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do anything special. All you have to do is just keep telling your friends about us, right? Just tell them about it and get them involved in. And of course, if they like what they see and they like what they hear, they'll come along too as well. Now, for all of you YouTubers, if you're on YouTube right now watching us, if you haven't done it thus far, get a chance, do it right now. You won't lose control of anything or miss any part of the show. Just click on to that little feature where it says subscribe. Drag your mouse over there, point the arrow, and just click it. And that will automatically get you right in, because you become a full-fledged member. That's subscribing to us. Now, the reason why we would love you to subscribe to us is, first of all, we want to make sure that all of the people who are joining us, we want to keep account of them, right? We want to see how many people are actually with us. And the second reason too, it gives you the opportunity to know whenever you come on or whenever we come on live. And let's say, for instance, you forget about the show and you just happen to be online. An instant notification will pop up letting you know that we're on the air. And sometimes it pops up too when even when we're not on the air. Let's say for something, if a particular activity is going on, right? A posting of a video or a still picture or something, you'll get that same signal. And all you have to do is just click onto that and it takes you right there. Right? And that's all it takes. Tag your friends, tell them about it right here on Facebook Live. You know, I already told you about that. You're tagging your friends, and because we're coming on 3 different places. I didn't tell you that, right? Well, I kind of told you in a way. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Those are the 3 platforms that we're broadcasting on each week. And so whatever platform that you're on, it's okay by us. and you'll get a chance to talk to us just as well, and just like everyone else. That's what it's all about. So we're so glad to have you aboard with us. Stay with us. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast publication, right? So I want to get all of that out of the way so we can get the show started right now. Later on in the program, in this particular hour, as a matter of fact, this particular half hour, not too far away, a couple of minutes from now, we're going to hear from Brian Camp. Brian Camp is our sports guy. He comes along and he brings us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And you're going to get a chance to see him live. If you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him as well as talk to him as well. If you have any sports related questions for him, please feel free, get them ready right now. And this way you can type it right in there and he'll see your question, and whatever he doesn't see, of course, I'll see, because I see everything here. I got eyes all over the place, and I will deliver the message to him as well. All right, so that's coming along pretty soon. We hope that you'll be around for that if you like sports, and there's a lot of sports to talk about. And all season long, we have sports, sports, sports. That's what it's all about. So that's coming up in a few. Stay abreast of that. Oh, by the way, you guys who are watching us on Instagram, you guys are not going to get a chance to see him on camera. You'll hear him, but you won't be able to see him. We're not set up that way. We don't have the feature, or I should say Instagram, they don't have that feature where we can do that. But for the rest of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get a chance to see him right there live, okay? Later on in the program too, sort of about midway of the program, we're going to give you this day in history. Now here it is, a new month. This is November 7th, 2024, right? 2024. And of course, if you get a chance, keep that in mind. That's the day, or in a brand new month. Okay. And thank you. Thank you very much. So please be aware of that the new month and at this day in history, I have that. I almost lost my train of thought just for a minute, but we'll talk about this day in history. So I have all that information coming up. This day in history. And something happened on this day in history, something historical, and I have the list of all of them, so you get a chance to hear all of that. And of course, towards the end of the program, since the weekend is coming up, and it's coming up pretty quick. It seems like the weekends just come one right after the other so quick. However, this weekend, you're going to be doing whatever you're doing, and one of the things that you may want to do is to catch up on some movies you haven't seen in a long time. Sometimes some of us only get the weekends. If you're like me, you only get the weekends. And if you want to catch up on some movies, it's a good time to do it. And I'm going to help out with that because I have my picks of the week, which I do each week, from Turner Classic Movies. I go down the list there and check out what's happening and what's available and what's more of an interest to you, something that I could recommend to you. So I have a list of those movies coming up. So stand by for all of that. That's all coming up right here on Talkback Live. Yes, it's November 7th. This is the first show of this month. The first show of Talkback Live of this month, November 7th. And of course, there's a lot to talk about November 7th. And we celebrate a lot of things in the month of November. We just want to let you know that too. We talk about a lot of things. And since this is November, I am proud to say that all month long, we'll be celebrating National Native American Heritage Month. And that's close to me being of a Native American background all month long. And my fellow Native Americans, or half Native Americans, quarter Native Americans, and all of you who are even not Native Americans, we celebrate this day. These are the people. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here. All right, you got to remember that. They were the first settlers of this country. And so we celebrate that too. And if you want to talk all about that, we could talk about that too as well. And talk about the history and maybe activities are going on and people selling things out on the street, photos and all kinds of jewelry and things like that. That happens. That happens. I know over in New York City at Union Square, they used to do that. I'm not sure they're doing that now. I haven't been there in a while. But nevertheless, it is National Native American Heritage Month, and I am so proud to say we're going to be celebrating. I'm proud of the blood as well. Military Family Month, too. All of my brothers and sisters who served in the military, who are serving in the military, who have served in the military, well, we want to salute you and your family. It's Military Family Month, so we pay homage to all of you guys, families of the military people. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do. We have to always pay and remember that these are the people on the backbone of this country who keep things up and running for us. So we want to thank you, military people, and of course, we pay homage to your family as well. On the health side of everything, we're acknowledging National Diabetes Month. Okay, there's something that's very important to know about too. And if you are one of the people who may be pre-diabetic or diabetic, this is the month that we acknowledge it. If you want to know more about that, what you should do is go online and research a lot of things about it. Go to your doctor, stay checked, make sure that you take the blood test, whatever the doctor wants you to do, to just monitor you, the finger pricking and everything. The finger pricking is, when you say finger pricking, everybody says, wow, that must hurt, because that's like the sensitive part. Doesn't hurt at all. Doesn't hurt at all. It's like a click. They used to do it. They used to have a little device. They just stick it in your arm, but now it's something like they cover up your finger and it looks like they press a button and just a jolt just hits your finger. It's just that easy. It doesn't hurt at all. Nevertheless, that's what we are acknowledging this month, National Diabetes Month. Also, National COPD Awareness Month, all right? That's respiratory, Now, if you're smoking cigarettes, you might want to put them away. I think this is the month, it used to be, I don't know if they do it anymore, but I'm going to find out, I'm going to research it. It used to be, they used to have a day set aside in November to put away your cigarettes for a day. Don't smoke for a day. And if you try that, maybe you might want to try the second day and the second day and then the next day until you're able to quit. I don't know. Anyway, that's another thing that we're acknowledging right now, National COP Awareness Month. All right, all month long we're acknowledging this. Also, National PPSI AIDS Awareness Month. Okay, and we acknowledge that too. A lot of people think that went away, but it's still here. It's here to stay. And we just want to make people aware of that. And you can be aware of that by consulting your doctor or even going out and researching it on the computer, looking at that. There's ways to research these things. And you should really know about them. They're very important. Even if you never had AIDS, it's something that you should learn about and study about too. Also, we have a national cancer, I wouldn't say national, it doesn't say national here, but it's like Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month as well. So I would say national. It's all over the nation. We're all over the world. So you could talk about that as something that we want to make aware of too. And also there's National Alzheimer's Disease Month. So all of these things we make you aware of. And if you have any questions or anything about it, we could work it out together. Maybe people in the room with you right now are expert on these. And so therefore, they'll be able to talk to you about it right here on Talkback Live. If you haven't had a chance to get your flu shots or your COVID shots, this is the time to do it right now. I know the weather is a yo-yo situation these days, at least out here in New York. It gets a little chilly, then it gets hot again, chilly and warm. And you don't know how to dress, that's where you should have your shots, your flu shots, all right? And you can get them at your pharmacist. All you have to do is contact them, make an appointment, and when you make the appointment, keep the appointment. And you can take both vaccinations at the same time, the flu and COVID at the same time, if you choose to do so. Or some people, like myself, I'd rather not take them both at the same time. I'd rather do it one time and one at the other time. But right now, these vaccinations came out like, I guess, the tail end of August to the beginning of September. So, you got to get into it right now. This is not the time to think about it now. Now you got to get into it, before it's too late, because, when the weather gets cold, everything spikes up. So that's what we have going for us right now. Okay, right here, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And I'm Frank Allan, and we're going to be with you for the balance of the hour. So stay with us, okay? Quincy Jones, best known as the architect of Michael Jackson's Thriller and the man who made stars collide for 1985's We Are the World, died Sunday night at his home in Bel Air, California. He had a long career as a composer and trumpeter who broke down racial boundaries in music and film. Jones won an astonishing 27 Grammy Awards throughout his career as an arranger and a producer, and his legacy intersected with those of Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, and Leslie Gore. He was 91 years old. Actor Jonathan Hayes, best known for the original Little Shop of Horrors, has died. Hayes died at his Los Angeles home last Saturday. Hayes made his cinematic debut at age 25, playing the role of Joe in a 1954 horror comedy, Monster from the Ocean Floor. He was 95 years old. Okay, as I promised you, we are going to take a trip, and we're going to take the trip to North Carolina, to be a little more blunt, Charlotte, North Carolina, because that's where Brian Camp is right now. And Brian comes in each week, as you already know, and he brings us the latest developments in today's world of sports. And the name of the show is called Sports Update. So this is what I want you to do. If you have any questions right now, if you have any questions at all right now, for Brian about sports, any questions at all about sports right now, try him. All right. Get your questions ready. Get them ready. Type them in there. He'll see them. I'll see them. Whatever he doesn't see, I'll pass it along to him. And you'll get a chance to get your questions answered. So here he is, live and in person. You can see him, except if you're watching us on Instagram, you won't see him. But for you YouTubers and you Facebookers, here he is, Brian Camp, with the latest developments in today's world of sports.
Good evening to people in the United States, my fellow Americans, and to people worldwide, nationally and locally. I greet you good evening and good morning, depending on where you are at. I'm coming live from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is 69 degrees clear, and it's going to go down to 65 degrees later on tonight. Yeah, it's been a strange day, a quiet day. I'm glad this election is over, to be honest with you, but I'm not here to talk about that. Yeah. Now we get back to our normal lives. To be honest with you, wasn't surprised of the outcome, and just was happy that all of this is over, with all the stress and the rumbling and bumblings, and now we get back to being what we are doing. But that much to think about in the world of sports.
We could all a little better now. That's what I like about it. It was stressful.
It was stressful. Yeah, it was very stressful, but it's done, it's over with, and now we move on. I will say that we Americans who did not vote for the re-elected president again, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, because one thing about us as Americans, and many people of color, as you know, we're very resilient. We'll be fine. Trust me, we'll be fine. And just like what Kamala Harris said, we will not give up the fight, but we will be respectful. We will make a peaceful transition. But I'm glad this is over with. Not happy with the outcome, but we just need to hopefully that this president will keep his word this time and stop the BS. Let's just do right for the sake of our country.
Amen.
Yeah. But in sports, in the NBA, still more politics. Anti-establishment Republican and former NBA player Royce White has lost his bid for a U.S. Senate seat after falling to incumbent Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar in Minnesota. Top election matchup that was there for Minnesota. There, they've been talking that they was going to go head to head, and they did. But former basketball player for the Boston Celtics, Royce White, did lose. So we just have to move on. He will have to move on and just turn the page. And that's basically it. As you know, the NBA is just started. The season just started. It's a couple weeks old, and they're in full action tonight. Um, One thing about what I love about the commissioner, the last couple of years, he has canceled all games on election night. And he did that so everyone, all NBA players in every organization can vote. And I think what he's doing is a great job because, uh, many of us get criticized for not voting, can't find time. No excuses now. He chose.
Okay, I think Brian is freezing a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, he froze up a little bit. I'm not sure what the technical problem is. Maybe it is a technical problem.
And
Is he back? Is he back?
that's
I hear your voice and you're breaking up. Uh,
excuse me.
I hear your voice, but you break.
Is he back?
Yeah. I see you. You're back,
Oh,
but your screen is frozen. But I hear you so far. Okay.
can you?
So continue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we got basketball, we got a national football game tonight, Ravens and Bengals. So we're getting back to normal and everything. College basketball, women's and men's are back.
Okay, he froze up again. What's the problem? Is there a technical problem? Do I have to take over the sports
That's
from?
it. When there's drama, sports is always a cure for all of us.
Okay.
All right. Can you see me or hear me?
I can see you and I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So let me continue. So that's where we are. But let's get to some this day in sports. On November 7th, 1943, the Detroit Lions and the New York Giants football last scoreless tie. They played it to a 0-0 tie game. That was the last time that ever happened. That was in 1943. Nowadays they have overtime, and if you don't score within a 10-minute overtime, then guess what? The game ends in a tie. But that was the last time it was a 0-0 tie. That was back in 1943. 1963, New York Yankee catcher Elston Howard is the first African American to be voted American League MVP. It's a long time ago. 1967, Major League Baseball St. Louis Cardinals infielder Orlando Cepeda is the first unanimous National League MVP. First time that ever happened. 1991, Magic Johnson announces he has HIV virus and retires from the LA Lakers. He later did return for a short stint and also became a coach, and later played in the All-Star game in 1991. But since then, after that, he retired shortly after. And in 2000, Jerry Sloan becomes the first coach to get 1,000 victories for one team. For one team. That's amazing. That means he was there for a very long time. He was coach of the Utah Jazz, and he became the first coach to get 1,000 victories for one team. Birthdays on this day, 1936. Al Alice, NBA Hall of Famer point guard and coach of the 1975 Golden State Warriors, was born in Newark, New Jersey. 1938. Remember Jim Cott, the left-handed hit pitcher? Yeah, he used to have an awkward kind of throwing release. Well, Jim Cott, he was a Major League Hall of Famer pitcher, 16-time Gold Glove winner, and our broadcaster was born in Zeeland, Michigan. 1944, Joe Negro, the brother of Phil Negro, Major League pitcher, was born in Martins Ferry, Ohio, and 1951. Happy birthday to the late Chris Mortensen, who just died last year. Sports journalist for ESPN, was born in Torrance, California. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a very slow night here in the world of sports.
Oh, it's so slow, but it'll pick back up again.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Cott, by the way, you're right. He was an announcer. As a matter of fact, I don't know what he's doing now or where he is now. But the last we saw from Jim Cott, he was working for the New York Yankees. He used to broadcast along Michael Kay, and
That's correct. Yes.
I'm not so sure what happened to that. Haven't heard from him since. Maybe he's in another city doing announcing. I don't know. I wish I knew. But I used to enjoy watching him when he did the Yankee games with Michael Kay.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jim Cott was one of the he was a very good defensive pitcher. He,
Mhm.
16 gold gloves. That's amazing. That is a lot of gold gloves for a pitcher who pitches every fourth or fifth day.
Yeah,
And he didn't have he won a lot of games, but he played for a very long time too. But he was a very good fielder pitcher as well too. Grounded, was able to grab ground balls and line drives. Was a decent pitcher, not a great pitcher, but he was a very good, decent pitcher.
mhm.
Played for numerous teams, um, and was very, very active in the field as well as a pitcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So we got some football coming up this weekend, right?
yeah, it's a full slate of games to we this week starts tonight. We got the Ravens and the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Lamar Jackson, MVP front runner, and he won it last year. We go against Joe Burrow, who's a very good, talented quarterback. This is a very game for both. This is a very important game for both teams, especially for the Cincinnati Bengals. If they lose, then they fall way back and probably out of playoff contention. But we can watch the game on Prime.
Yeah,
But we stay here
yeah,
until 9 o'clock, and then that's when you can watch the NFL football game.
yeah. They just recently, not, I think maybe at the beginning of the season, they started going to Prime because I remember they used to I used to pick them up on the local channels, but no more. It's all of the sports are being streamed. You can go on your favorite stream or place channel or whatever it is, and you can watch them there, like Prime, like you mentioned, and a lot of other sports outlets. You got Prime, you got Peacock, and all of those things. So I think sports are just going to be mainly streaming.
Yeah.
Not gonna, you're not gonna.
Well, we got that big fight coming up with Mike Tyson coming up, going to fight the YouTube specialist fighter. Forget his name right quick, but
Got his name myself. Yeah,
Logan. I think it's something Logan.
yeah.
Uh, he's
Paul,
but
is it Paul?
Paul Logan or something like that.
Something. I forgot his name, but I know I read some of it today. And
Yeah.
what are they going to do that? They're going to do that on Netflix, aren't they?
Netflix going to be live coming from Dallas, Arlington, Texas, where the home of the Dallas Cowboys play at AT&T Stadium. That game is going to be live coming from Netflix. So it's coming up not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Okay.
So Mike Tyson, they have the commercials out already. Tyson says depending on whether or not he runs or not, his opponent runs, this might be a quick knockout because a lot of people run away from Mike Tyson in the ring. I would too if he's coming at you with weaving and bopping and
Yeah.
get caught with one of those left hooks. It's lights out.
I wonder if Tyson, I haven't seen him box in a long time because I thought he just was going to stay out of retirement, stay in retirement.
Nearly 2 decades he hasn't fought.
But he was I didn't look. I never looked at Mike Tyson back then as a boxer. I always looked at him as a brawler. You know,
Something like Rocky Marciano
yeah,
was.
they were brawlers. They were out there. They were out for blood. Especially Mike Tyson. He was always out for blood back then.
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm wondering. Now with this fight, if his style and his stance is going to be a little calmer, tamer, or a little more as a boxer than a brawler. I've yet to see that. But how old is he now? He's got to be 50, what, 55, 56?
55, something like that. It's, yeah, I
I
would say,
suppose he know what he's doing. I wouldn't get into a ring at that age.
I don't think anybody would be smart enough to get into a ring with Mike Tyson. I don't care how old he is. There's one thing about a professional boxer. Um, he could be away from the sport for a very long time, but the bottom line is he will always be a boxer and
Mhm,
he will take your head off.
mhm.
So you got to be very careful once he, gets into that ring. Um, you don't want to get hit by him. He's 58 years old.
Yeah,
Even 58, he still looks fearsome. He looked like that he could just knock your head off
yeah.
in one swipe of a left hook. So
All he have to do is give you the look.
that's it.
That's all he has to do, just give you the look. And the look itself is kind of like intimidating.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
his last fight was June of 2005. So, it's been a long time. And he fought it was his last fight was an exhibition match against his good friend, my favorite boxer, Roy Jones Jr., you know. So, it's I think it was more of a friendly exhibition type thing. Mike Tyson doesn't believe in exhibition, but it was an exhibition, and I'm pretty sure both boxers got something out of it. So
Since we're talking about boxing, a name came up uh, early this week in conversation, and me and someone, Don King. Where is he?
good question. Don King has been away from the sport. As you know, he's a very well known promoter that allegedly he took a lot of those fighters' money and
Yeah,
and ran with it. But
yeah,
Don King, man,
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know. You
no.
know,
The last time I saw King, he was a Donald Trump surrogate. And then after they lost the election that year, I haven't heard from him since.
well, Don King is 93 years old, so he's still around.
Yeah,
He's still around, but he was mainly known for his being, promoting boxers like Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes and other great boxers. But he
he,
was he was a flashy type of promoter.
yeah. And with his iconic hairdo. Now he's the only one that I know that could wear a hairdo like that and get away with it.
That's what made him famous. He
Yeah.
was different from everyone else.
I remember when it really wasn't that wild in the beginning. It was just like a even off afro. And then all of a sudden just went out of control and he was just famous for that.
Yeah, his hair was something. All of that was just was to draw ratings and to gain ticket sales at the gates, in the arenas. But he did pack them. He did pack them up. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
he had a different way about himself with the hairstyle and the fancy outfits he wore and everything. Yeah, Mike Tyson was unbelievable.
Well,
So
wherever you are, happy birthday. I missed all your birthdays. I didn't even know he was 90 some odd years old. I didn't even know it.
93. He still promotes fights too. Yeah,
God bless him.
still promotes fights.
Active. We'll catch you back here tomorrow, no? Yeah.
Probably I will let you know to find out tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll send the information over to tonight
Uh-huh.
and you know, see what happens.
Okay. Sounds good to me. All
Yeah.
right. So until then, we'll talk to you then.
Yes, everybody be safe and enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's here each week at this time and may possibly be back here tomorrow for the coffee hour. We hope that he does. It's more better that he does the sports than I do, but then we can have the conversation together and you can join in on the conversation as well. So thank you, Brian, for that. And I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. That's for sure. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're talking back live to you, as you can talk back live to us. All you have to do is use your keyboard on your computer, your cell phone, and even your tablet. And I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will acknowledge you. And you can talk about anything you want to talk about. If you don't want to talk about the things that we're talking about, we can go and talk about what you want to talk about. It's open forum, and you can do that at any time you want. Just let your fingers do the walking, and that'll be great. Okay, I think it's about that time, don't you think? I think it's about that time. And it's about that time to go back into time. And as we go back into time on this day in history in 1820, remember? James Monroe was reelected to U.S. president on this day in history in 1914. The first issue of the New York Republic magazine is published. On this day in history in 1916, Woodrow Wilson is reelected as president of the United States, defeating Republican candidate Charles E. Hughes. On this day in history in 1944, Franklin D. Roosevelt is reelected president of the United States for a record fourth term, defeating Republican candidate Thomas E. Dewey. On this day in history in 1953, WIS-TV Channel 10 in Columbia, South Carolina, NBC station started their broadcasting day. On this day in history in 1962, Richard Nixon tells press he won't be available to be kicked around anymore after losing the election for governor of California. And in 1967, Carl Stokes was elected the first African-American mayor of a major U.S. city in Cleveland, Ohio. Back in 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono released their second album, Wedding. That's the Wedding album in the UK. In 1972, Attorney Joe Biden is elected to the U.S. Senate, representing the state of Delaware after defeating longtime incumbent Caleb Boggs by just over 3,000 votes. Biden would win re-election 6 times after that. And on this day in history, 1972, incumbent President Richard Nixon is re-elected, defeating Democrat candidate George McGovern in a landslide by winning 49 states. In 1976, Gone with the Wind, the Oscar-winning film epic starring Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable, makes a broadcast television debut on NBC, aired in 2 parts over consecutive nights. And it earned then a record of 65% share of viewers. In 1989, New York City elects its first African-American mayor, David Dinkins, and the first female controller, Elizabeth Holtzman. In 1990, Mary Robinson was elected as the first female president in Ireland. In 1997, Bean, the film directed by Mel Smith and starring Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean, opens in the United States. In the year 2020, Kamala Harris makes U.S. history as the first woman and the first woman of color to be elected to the vice presidency. Evangelist Billy Graham was born on this day in 1918 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he died February 21st, 2018 at the age of 99 years old. In 1922, jazz trumpeter Al Hurt was born on this day in New Orleans, Louisiana. In 1999 is when he passed away. In 1938, singer Dee Clark, remember Raindrops? Oh, those raindrops. He was born in Blytheville, Arkansas. and he died in 1990. In 1942, singer Johnny Rivers with The Secret Agent Man, that's the big hit he had back then, was born on this day in New York City. He's 82 years old today. And singer Joni Summers was born on this day in 1943. And she was born in Fort Macleod, Alberta, Canada. And she's 81 years old today. In 1964, actress Dana Plato, who played Kimberly on Different Strokes, was born on this day. And she was born in Maywood, California at the age, she died in 1999. Let's see. Oh, yeah, 1951, Frank Sinatra marries his second wife, actress Ava Gardner, and they got divorced in 1957. In 1934, actress Gloria Swanson divorces Michael Farmer after 3 years of marriage. In 1957, actress Ingrid Bergman divorces Alberto Rossellini after 7 years of marriage. In 1982, actress Elizabeth Taylor's seventh divorce from politician John Warner after almost 6 years of marriage. Eleanor Roosevelt died on this day in 1962 at the age of 74 years old from cardiac failure. She was born October 11th, 1884 in New York City. Actor Steve McQueen died on this day in 1980 at the age of 50 years old. He was born March 24th, 1930, and he was born in Beech Grove, Indiana. In 1992, actor Jack Kelly, who played Bart Maverick and Get Christy Love, dies following a stroke at the age of 65. In 1993, musical theater, cabaret, and jazz singer Adelaide Hall dies at the age of 92. In 1995, comedian Slappy White dies of a heart attack at the age of 74. In 2020, comedian Norm Crosby dies of heart failure at the age of 93. And finally, 2021, actor Dean Stockwell dies at the age of 85 years old. And that's the news on what's happening in the entertainment industry. And those of you who are watching, please, you could still contact us and you want to get in touch with us. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But right now, we want you, if you desire to do so, you can conversate with us. Let your fingers do the walking right there and type in whatever you want to talk about. Now, getting back to what I was saying about contacting us, you can do that. All right. And a lot of people would like to. And if you would like to, well, I have two sources for you to do that. All you have to do is be proactive. I have an email address and also a telephone number. And so I want to give you the email address first. Frank Allan Prod. Allan, last name is spelled Allan. That's Frank Allan Prod. Prod is Prod. That's short for productions. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. If you want to call, the number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now, you can contact anytime you like, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. It's just fine with me. We'll get your information. We'll get your phone call. You can leave a message there at any time you like, or you can email anytime you like. We will get all of that coming up. And maybe you want to contact us for a particular reason. Maybe you want to just say hello, and that's okay too. You're not wasting our time. As a matter of fact, we love hellos. Maybe you want to talk about the show. You want to find out more about the show. You want to find out the history of the show, or you want to critique the show, or you have ideas that you think we should implement in the show, or anything like that, right? Or if you have a birthday coming up, or bar mitzvah, or anything at all, anything, you just want to contact us, right? Just do it and keep all the information wherever you can find it on, and make sure it's in a safe place like your phone, right? Because you carry that everywhere you go anyway, right? You can keep it in your phone, in your computer, your laptop, your desktop, or your tablet or whatever. All the information in your electronic devices, it's good. And you can keep it there, and you can find it right there, just in a hurry, whenever you need it, right there. So keep it right there. So I'll give you that email address once again, frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod at AOL.com. The telephone number is 467, Now, 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. There was a 467. Let me repeat that again. 641-715-3900, extension 467. All right? There you go. 467-134, I should say. Should I repeat that again? Did I lose anyone? Okay. 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Call me, email me. I love to hear from you. Just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're talking back live to each other. We're so glad to have you aboard with us. We want you to stay for the balance of the hour. Those of you who have been here for a while and you haven't done it yet, you know, we've got about 15 minutes to go in this show. So I want you to share that final 15 minutes with your friends if you haven't done it thus far. If you're watching us on Facebook, tag them. Tag them and let them know that we're out here, right? We would love that. And they'll see the tag from you, it'll bring you in, it'll bring it right in. All they have to do is just click onto it and it'll bring them directly to us. And the same thing you can do with YouTube and Facebook, only in a different way. See, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, or I should say Instagram, right? You know how to tag us on Facebook. On Instagram, you can do basically something similar to that. Cut and paste the platform that you're on, that where it says the link, cut and paste the link and send it to them. That's another way of tagging, all right? And you can send it to as many people as you like. We don't care. As a matter of fact, we would love it. We encourage it, all right? So do that right away. Okay, we're so glad to have you aboard with us. And of course, you know, the election time, Brian and I already talked about it. Election time is all over. It's done. It's behind us. So America has spoken. And this is what we have now. I just want to say congratulations, because I'm going to take the high road here. I want to say congratulations to President-elect Donald Trump for his victory, and all of his followers. I want to congratulate you guys too as well. And we've got 4 years of Donald Trump coming along, and we want to thank Kamala Harris while we're talking, doing such a marvelous job with her campaign. She fought a hell of a fight, and you're not going to see the last of her. And I don't blame her, and she should be with us. So we'll be working all of this time. Now, that being said, I take the high road. Now, we know that election time is over. America has spoken. And so now, in another 90 some odd days, Donald Trump will be sworn in once again, and then he'll wind up in the Oval Office. Okay? Now, I'm a person that I am not what they call, you ever heard of that term, a Monday morning quarterback? Well, I'm not a Monday morning quarterbacker. I never was, never will be, and I won't start now. All right? And that's why I took the high road to congratulate all of the Trump supporters. But I will say, you know, I am looking forward to Mr. Trump he says this thing, making America great again. Well, my situation here is that I would love to see all Americans included in this, because we are all Americans, right? We were born, we were raised here. Some of us migrated here and got our legal status, and we're all here. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever you follow, you know, we want to be included along with you. Whatever your plans are, we want to be included. Everyone wants to be included. Let's forget about all of the bad things right now that we've endured in the past. Let's forget about it. Let's forget about Madison Square Garden. Let's forget about that. All right? It's all over. What's done is done. Let's forget about Madison Square Garden. Let's forget about the bad things that were passed on between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Let's forget about that. All right? It's all done. We did it. They did it. And there's nothing you can do about it, and you can't take it back. I would say, and I would charge all of you, to take the high road, right? And I want each and every one of you, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or independent, right? Keep the fight. Keep the fight. But I would like the Trump administrations to make sure that all of us, all Americans, as he said in his speech after he won the election, he wants to make sure that all Americans are taken care of. And I've heard him say that. I heard him say that. And I am going to personally hold him to that. And I think you should too, because it's been a long road for all of us. We've had a lot of big ups and downs, more downs than I could say, but we overcame them. And so it would be a good thing. And I just want to talk to the Trump supporters, even the MAGA Trump supporters, because not all Trump supporters are MAGA Trump supporters. They support because of certain reasons. But even if you're a supporter of Trump as a MAGA supporter, or just a regular Republican or a Democrat, or even independent, you're talking about America. Republicans are Americans, Democrats are Americans, independents are Americans, and we are in a country of a melting pot of all races, creeds, religions, and everyone's here. You might as well include them all, because no one is going anywhere. Blacks are not going anywhere. Whites are not going anywhere. Latinos, Asians, you name it. No one is going anywhere. And so we'll see what happens. We'll have to see. We've got 4 years to clean it up. And I actually pray for Donald Trump, and I pray for his supporters. And for those of the ones who are still at their doing the same thing over and over again, I pray for them too, because basically we need each other. And you know something too, you can't just cater to one party, because in America, there's the Republicans. Back when I came from my early days, there was nothing but the Republicans and the Democrats. And we need Republicans, and Republicans need Democrats. And that's democracy, and that's how we roll, and that's how it should work out. So I just figured I'd bring that out there. And after saying all of that, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Do you have the guts to take the high road? We'll see about that. Okay, it's time for us to talk about those movies right now. This weekend is coming up, and of course, this weekend, in conjunction of whatever you do, you want to do other things too. And one of the other things may be catching up on some movies you haven't seen in a long time. So, what I have for you, I have how many do I have this week? I have 4 movies this week. Okay. I have 4 movies this week. Now, all of these movies are taken from Turner Classic Movies. I go there and I look and find a few things that I think it's worth watching, and I want to present them to you. And of course, you're resourceful as well. You can find some of your movies that you would like by streaming and going on cable or whatever it is. So let me start with these movies right now. Here's one that goes back to 1955 called Guys and Dolls. It's a musical. I love this. I could watch this a zillion times and not get tired of it, with Marlon Brando, Gene Simmons, and Frank Sinatra. And that's all Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can check it out then. It's a great comedy, musical, and I think you'll like it. Here's something that's not being played often, but when it comes on, I suggest that you check it out. It's called Forbidden Planet, back in 1956, with Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, and Leslie Nielsen. And that's on Turner Classic Movies, and you can check that out. That's Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. Okay, that's too early for you? Okay, you already know what times it comes on. Why don't you DVR it? DVR it and watch it at your own time convenience. If you're some of these movies come on at a time when you can't watch them, DVR and watch them later. That's the good thing about technology today. You can do that. Here's something going back to 1956 as well, Our Miss Brooks. And this happened to be a TV series back in the 50s as well. But this is a movie, a long movie called by Eve Arden, Gail Gordon, and Robert Rockwell. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. Our Miss Brooks. It's a nice comedy. I love it. I get a kick out of it. It's on Turner Classic Movies, and it's Sunday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. That's Sunday. So Sunday, what do? You go to church, you do whatever you do in the morning, and then rest up in the afternoon because you know you have to get back to the grind anyway the following day. And so take that afternoon and sit back and relax and enjoy this movie. That's Our Miss Brooks. Bells are ringing. Oh, yeah, they're ringing. Ring-a-ding-ding. They're ringing. And that's cue if I ever heard one. That's from 1960. It's a movie starring Judy Holliday, Dean Martin, and Fred Clark. And it's on Turner Classic Movies. And that's on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bells are ringing. I love that. That's a nice comedy and a little musical. Of course, you're not going to watch a movie if Dean Martin is not going to sing in it, right? Well, he's made movies where he didn't sing, but you know, he had a few songs on this movie. It's a great comedy, kind of, I guess, to say comedy musical, you know, that sort of thing. And even Jean Stapleton is in that movie, you know, back when in her early days. So, you know, check it out. It's a color movie, Technicolor. I guess they called it back then Technicolor, but it's a nice movie. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you enjoy all of these movies. And if I didn't mention anything that you didn't like, you can go to Turner Classic Movies too, right? You can go on there and scroll down and find out what else is available there, because I might have not mentioned it, but I only took my picks of the week. But there may be other things or other movies that you may like that you'll get a kick out of and say, hey, you know, I think I'll put that on my list to watch too. I want to do that. I want to watch that. You can do that. Go down the line, go down right through the week and pick out some other that you like. And again, if you can't watch it in real time, you could always DVR them and watch them later on. Okay. Also, when you're out there, you can go on demand and watch those free movies. There are a lot of great free movies that's from the past that I think you'll like, from A to Z, a whole lot of them. Going down the line, they're right there, and you can do that. Also, you have a lot of great sporting events that's available. If you don't get a chance to see the sporting event in real time, or if you miss it, you could always go back the following day, depending on what network is on, check it out, and you could see it sometimes without commercial interruption. Okay. Then you have nice kiddie shows there, documentaries there, and Lifetime movies. If you like Lifetime movies, I love Lifetime movies, right? And see what's available there. So you have all of that there. They're all great. And I think you're going to love them. So keep that in mind. And then, too, a lot of people are streaming, too. So if you have cable and you can stream, too, you've got it made in the shade. I mean, you've got everything available to you, right? You don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let me give you these movies once again. And let's see what's happening. Okay. It's Guys and Dolls with Marlon Brando, Gene Simmons, and Frank Sinatra. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You have Forbidden Planet with Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, and Leslie Nielsen on Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. Our Miss Brooks with Eve Arden, Gail Gordon, and Robert Rockwell. And that's on Turner Classic Movies on Sunday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. And Bells Are Ringing with Judy Holliday, Dean Martin, and Fred Clark. That's also on Turner Classic Movies, and that's Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I hope you get a chance to watch some of these movies. I Stare You No Wrong, okay? And I think you'll like it. So you get a chance and watch them and come back and let me know how you like them. You know, all happening this week, all right? And check out, there are a lot of great documentaries out there too. You know, there are just too many for me to mention, but very interesting documentaries that you like. I saw one that was on MSNBC called, it had to do with the generation. My Generation was the name of the documentary. So I think you'll like that. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind. I want to say hello to everybody who had joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a good time. I certainly had a good time. However, it's time for me to pick up and move out. Remember, get them up, move them out. And but I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for the coffee hour. And Brian Camp, hopefully, have my fingers crossed, he's going to be here with us. If not, you know, we'll take care of all that he delivers to us. We'll look forward to seeing you too with coffee in hand. All right. That's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And don't forget to check us back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be here with sports. I will be here. You will be here. I'm a pepper, you a pepper, you a pepper. Would you like to be a pepper too? No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting crazy right now. It's time for me to go. I thank you so much for being along with us, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you have a wonderful morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night. And until that time we meet again, God bless you and stay safe and keep your chin up. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.